My name is Susan MacKenzie. I'm a volunteer with the Canadian Red Cross. I am a wife and a mother and a grandmother. For disaster management, I work in the office. I do behind the scenes work in administration for them. If there was a fire and the family was in need of help, we would go out and provide hygiene kits, provide them a place to stay in a hotel for up to 72 hours, look after their food costs and perhaps some clothing. Disaster preparedness is very important because it starts with us. You are your own first responder. And in order to do that, you have to know what you have to have in place. I was the first team into Slave Lake. There was 3 of us that went. And that was an amazing experience. We had been very busy up to that point with people, putting people up in shelters, running the shelter, looking after the shelter, then into the phase where we moved people into hotels. But when we went into Slave Lake the first time, the 3 of us, it's a moment I'll never forget. We had these big burly guys that had come in and they would sit down at the table covered in soot, absolutely covered from head to toe. And these guys, this one gentleman in particular, he just started to break down. I just got up and went on the other side of the table and gave him the biggest bear hug you could. Yeah. The first time they were allowed back in to see their homes, they were given instructions and somebody accompanied them and said, whatever you do, do not jump into this basement. And of course, what does he do? He jumps in. So I had to ask him, why did you do that? What were you thinking? To jump in, it's so dangerous. And he said, I had actually taken my wedding ring off and I'd set it on the nightstand. And I was hoping, I knew where everything was, and I was hoping when the house caved in, I would be able to find that wedding band. And when he finished telling the story, he never did find the wedding band, but what he did come out with was a Christmas ornament. It was the only thing that they had saved through all of the belongings in his home. And that Christmas ornament hung on his Christmas tree that year. They said they will keep it forever. When I was deployed to Hurricane Sandy, the danger element was quite high. There was still martial law, there was lineups for gas, people's tempers were very short. I was in the kitchen just chatting it up with one of the clients, seeing how they were doing, and he had started to choke. He absolutely stopped making any noise at all, and I got ready to do the abdominal thrust, and we were able to actually, with that and lifting his arms up and staying with him, he was able to expel the piece of chicken that he was choking on. So we literally saved his life. Every time I would walk by him in the shelter, he would reach his hand out to me. He'd say, "Hey, Canada. Hey, you saved my life." Amazing. When you got there, it was like you hit the ground running. The training that we received from disaster management, I was sure of the jobs that I had to do. I knew I had the background, the training to do it. I actually carry the fundamental principles around with me, written in stone. When I was unsure or just wanted to stop and think about it, I pull them out and look at them. So the one in red is the one I go with the most, and it's humanity. The beauty of the Red Cross, I think, because we are such a huge volunteer base that we are able to pull people to come in and help with that for as long as it takes. We're in there for the long haul.